Let's just take a quick review of your mastery of scales so far. First of all, we started with the white note scale from C to C, from C to shining C. And in doing so, you ingrained in yourself the pattern of whole step, because you know this is a whole step, you know that's a whole step, half step, whole step, you know that's a whole step, and then there's another whole step, and then another whole step, and then another half step. You can always come back in your mind to thinking of that pattern. Okay? Whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Now, if you're anything like me, you might, rather than memorize this pattern, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, abstractly, you can continue to relate it back to the white note scale, C major and A minor. Okay, you can always relate it back. Okay, now there are the ways to attain automaticity with your scales. Now, theory 2, theory 3, you've got to know your scales. Straight up, major, minor scales, all 13 of each, or 14 or 15 of each. But main thing is you've got to know your scales. They've got to be automatic so that you can construct chords and understand melodies and analyze stuff and so on. Now, there are some different ways to do it. You can memorize the key signatures, right? That's why we're dialing around the circle of fifths. And we've been going somewhat gradually, starting with 1 sharp, 1 flat, and now we're up into 4 sharps or 4 flats. You can also apply this pattern that I just described to any starting note. And of course, if you are into brute force memorization, you can do that too. And a fun thing is to practice, or I should even say, play on an instrument. You play on an instrument, play in different keys, move things around. That's why we're having you do your creative assignments in different keys. That ingrains the shape of these scales in a way that is special and very grounding. Okay, all of these work together to ingrain our major and minor scales to the degree that you don't have to think when asked for a given scale degree in a given key. So what's the subtonic in E flat minor? D flat. What's the leading tone in C minor? B. What's the dominant in the key of G? D. These things are going to become automatic. And you can do it through memorizing key signatures, memorizing this or applying this whole half pattern, brute force memorization, not my cup of tea, but some of you, and then my favorite, playing on an instrument, taking melodies that are easy to perform, moving them to different keys. Okay, let's just walk through E major for the different approaches. So the key signature of E major is 4 sharps and flats. And we think of it in this order: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp. Notice it's up a fifth, up a fifth. And the newest sharp, going back to our circle of fifths, is this D sharp, our leading tone. Or you could think whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Or you could just brute force memorize E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. Brute force memory. Finally, you can do something fun, like you can take the key or the song, I don't know. All right, let's say we just take the last part of that. I'm playing looking out a window with my left hand stretched out behind me, so I've got a room for air there. Okay, now we take it and right, you take that same melody, you play it in E major. Now, it might take you a little while to do it, but since it's a known tune, it's fun to play. Same thing with A flat major. You can think, oh, okay, I know the key signature. It's A flat major. You walk your way around the circle of fifths. B flat, A flat, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. D is the new flat. And you can think whole step, half step, whole step, half step. You could also sound it out. Savor. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Or you can play your favorite tune. Okay. Have a good time in different keys. It's going to put the icing on the cake of your understanding. All right, finally. Okay, remember that no matter what your method, every scale contains one and only one instance of each alphabet letter. Okay, so in this case, here's D major. You're never going to call this note a G flat in the key of D. Never, 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 never. Because then we would have no kind of F. And your understanding would get fuzzy. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, right? Only one of each letter, but definitely one. 7 letters, not a huge stretch. D, E, F something, F sharp. G, A, B, C something, C sharp, D. Gradually, with practice, drills, having a good time, and noticing in the music that you work on and the music that you love, how these keys are very limited. There aren't that many of them. And before you know it, it's going to be a piece of cake.